Sorry, we're totally not organized right now. I had to turn the TV down and get the light situated because we have our light in our living room's out. So I had to use my ring light just so y'all could see us. I feel like I need to cover up. Hey Lisa, hey Shayna, who else is on here? Anybody's significant other watching with them? Aw, Sean's watching. Hello, Sean. That's Brandy's fiance. All right, we've got some people on here, but I want to give y'all just another minute or so. I know we're a little bit late, so I apologize, but I think we're only like 3 minutes. Oh, 5 minutes late. Sorry. So, oh yeah, Victoria, is he not with you? You can add him to this group and then he'll be able to see it. If you want to do that, that's fine. You can just add him to it and then he's going to yeah, I was going to say you can just add him to the group if he is watching on his phone. Leslie, you can let him watch the replay. This will be recorded and I will most likely post it on my YouTube channel as well. Hey, Alexandra. So this is going to be, I really don't know what we're going to talk about. Whatever he feels like talking about, I guess. And it's going to be a Q&A though, so I just wanted to open it up for like basically anything because we're very honest and open people and we are pretty much an open book. And if you want to, well, apparently since he just uploaded a new YouTube video, that's cool. But if any questions y'all have, just leave them in the comments and we will answer them as we go. Or we may talk first and then wait until the end to answer them. I'll see how it goes. So any questions you have or your significant other has that you want to ask somebody that's not me, hear it from his point of view, you can do that as well. Can y'all hear us okay? I think y'all should be able to, but I'll make sure. So a little bit about us. Of course, most of you know me. I am Superstar Director for the Magnificent Superstars. Some of you may be on my team, but all of you are in my group. So I am your Superstar Director. Oh, Victoria, I could talk about recruiting for days. I may be able to talk about it a little bit, but if you let me know like what specific questions you have about recruiting, and whatever I don't get to answer, because I literally could talk about it forever, I will send you some videos because I have lots of good videos on sponsoring, because I do trainings on it all the time because I just love it. But I will try to touch on that tonight. Hey, Alex. So anyway, so I'm your Superstar Director. I'm Morgan. If you don't know me, I've been with Scentsy for almost 4 years. And I used to be a dental, I'm not used to telling my story to y'all because most of you know me, so it's weird. But I used to be a dental hygienist, and I am now a work-at-home mom. Why do we have low network connection? I don't know. Anyway, hopefully, y'all let me know if the connection is bad, but I'm not sure why it's doing that. Anyway, so I'm a work-at-home mom now. I have a 1-year-old, and I quit my job as a hygienist about 8 months into Scentsy, which is crazy now to look back on and think about, but I was just literally tired of working for somebody else, and I was bored, and I didn't like my job. I liked where I worked. I liked, Alex is your husband. Oh, awesome. Okay, gotcha. That threw me off. I was like, what? So, what's the last thing I said? Quit my job.
You were bored.
Because I was bored and I didn't like working for somebody else. And I did not realize that there was anything out there other than just going to work for somebody else. Because I went to college to get this degree, worked my butt off for this degree, spent a ton of money to get my license and get everything, you know. But I realized that I was not happy, and Scentsy kind of just fell into my lap. I had never bought from direct sales before, I don't think. I didn't know anything about direct sales. I found Scentsy. I honestly don't remember how I found out about Scentsy. I really have no idea, but we were living in Colorado at the time. He was in the Army, and that's where he was stationed, so that's where I started. This is so awkward that there's naked people on the TV right now. Watch it. Naked and Afraid is on. Anyway, so I started my business in Colorado, and like I said, it just kind of fell into my lap. I just joined Scentsy to get a discount. That was literally it. I literally told him that I didn't want to have a team, and I didn't want to I didn't want it to be a business. Or I guess I didn't realize it could be a business. I just wanted to make maybe a little extra income because we were like paycheck to paycheck and tight all the time. And so I figured that would be nice, but I just wanted free Scentsy for the most part. So, ended up getting my first team member 4 months after I joined, I think. And then I realized once I started seeing Scentsy do things for me and started seeing my paychecks increase as I was getting more team members, and then I started seeing Scentsy doing things for my team members and helping them make extra money and helping them change their lives. That's when I realized that I had such a passion for this that I had no idea about. And that's when I decided that I was not going to keep doing something that I was unhappy with. And yes, Hannah was my first team member, and she is now one of my directors, so that's pretty awesome. But yeah, so that's a little bit about my story. I just decided that I was tired of being unhappy at work and I wanted to make this a full-time job. And so then when Carson came along, my business was established well. I was making a pretty consistent paycheck, and of course they're always way better in the fall and winter months. So if you're newer, you will start to notice that. And but it was a consistent paycheck, and I doubled my dental hygienist income, and it just keeps going. And so it's really nice to be in a business like this because the sky's the limit. There's no fixed income. You have control over how much money you make. If you are happy with a couple $100s a month, then you can make that, or if you want to make like tons of money, you can. So it's completely up to you and how you want to work your business, how hard you want to work. And really, when you start to make it about others and not yourself is when you're really going to be successful, because you're going to want to share this business opportunity with everybody. The more it starts blessing you, the more you're going to want to share it with people, and then you see those people that join you, you see those changes with them, and then you just want to share it with everyone. And so you just your team will start to really grow and just explode the more you are looking to bless people with this opportunity. So that's my story. He is I know I was supposed to be done with that a minute ago, but he is a business owner as well. He owns a trucking company, and you started it
November 2013.
when you were in the Army though.
Yeah.
And you ran it for what, a year while you were in the Army?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not quite.
More than that.
More. Okay, so
'Cause
he
I got
started.
out in May we came home in May 2015.
Okay, so he started his business while he was active duty Army, and Why did you start your business? Tell them about you. This is the first time he's ever done a live video.
This is Scentsy though.
It's funny. Well, I know, but I want them to know about you too, because we're both business owners. So, well, you started your business because you weren't happy in the Army. You wanted to get out of the Army.
Yeah, I wanted flexibility.
He wanted flexibility. We're both huge about
I
that.
got tired of people telling me when I could go somewhere and stuff like that.
We don't like having a boss. We like being our own boss. So it's really nice to both be our own boss, and we work when we want to work, and we have flexibility to
Well,
go.
You do.
I work when I want to work, but he has the flexibility to take off for these incentive trips and reunion and all the Scentsy events he goes with me to, or if we want to take a vacation, he can. Literally, when we want to take off, we can. It's really nice. So,
Yeah, and I can basically the flexibility of Scentsy in general, because everybody now, the old school, 9 to 5 jobs or 8 to 4 jobs or whatever that the old timers, or I don't know what you want to call it, but those jobs are long gone. Most people nowadays, if you work, really anything. Anything from, this is for the spouses, that is, anything from, I don't know, what's like,
what, a 9 to 5 job?
no, other jobs. Like, anything from McDonald's to an engineer. Really, you either travel or you work crazy shifts and stuff like that. So, like, my job, I work all the time and just different shifts and, stuff like that. So, her being flexible enables us to see each other more, because I know a lot of families, the husband works a certain shift and the wife works a certain shift, and they never get to see each other. They both have off time, but it's at different times. So the flexibility of Scentsy's pretty good, because you never know when I'm going to be off, really. So
Literally, I've had to change my work hours and the way I do things so many times. Every time he's like when I was working as a hygienist and building my business, and he was in the Army, I worked it completely different. And then once we moved back to Alabama, I actually traveled with him on the road. So I worked my business while in the truck
and
on
we'd
the road.
stay gone for like a month.
Yeah, and I would even do like Facebook parties from the truck going down the road. Because I remember one night that I was doing one, and we had no service, and it like messed up my whole party. And then we moved again, and he had a different job, so he was working like weird hours, and so I worked around that. And so it's so nice to have that flexibility with my business, where I can work around what he's doing. We can still see each other, spend time together. My business isn't taking priority over him. And of course, having a baby, a toddler that I can stay at home with is just awesome, because I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but I never thought it would be possible, because I thought I would be cleaning teeth my whole life. But if I was still a hygienist, I would be going to work, but then I'd be paying for childcare, so it would literally be crazy. Need tips for you. Oh, she's talking to him. Okay. So y'all ask us any questions you have, because I don't really have. Well, actually, while y'all are thinking of your questions,
let me say one thing about that real quick, because it kind of relates. We just got back from reunion, so
yeah.
a lot of people, a lot of spouses and stuff like that, and I was like that the first time we went to reunion. I had prepared, I brought headphones, I downloaded movies on my phone. I was going to sit through all that with her, but I was just going to watch movies and play games on my phone. But it was just a very short time into that I got very interested in what they were saying. So now it's a total different thing. So reunion is very enjoyable for the spouse also. They give so many just life lessons. Nothing at reunion is really, I don't know, Scentsy oriented specific, not really. It's more of just life lessons, motivational speakers, and stuff that'll help anybody in their job. I mean, they do stuff that helps me in my business. So she said something about his job and made me think about it. So if any chance that you get to go and spouses get to go, it's interesting.
Like our first reunion was in 2016. That's the one he's talking about that he went in. It was both of our first reunion. Neither one of us knew what to expect, but he was like, yeah, he was expecting like Army PowerPoint stuff. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I'm just going to play on my phone the whole time. And then Heidi, he started listening to the keynotes and the motivational speakers. They always get really good speakers. But Heidi and Orville's speeches are always really good too. And Orville's is usually geared more toward business side of things. Heidi's is always like a really inspiring, motivational, she cries like 40 times during it kind of thing. But her keynote in 2016 like changed his business, because he was in a place where he was struggling with his business and
I had a hard decision to make. Yeah. One way or the other.
And so her message with that like changed his business. So it really will inspire everyone who goes, not just Scentsy consultants. So, okay, so Hannah, hey Shayla and Kelsey. Hannah asked, what was your breakthrough point where you were 110% behind Scentsy?
Well, I mean, I'm always behind, whatever, but at the time we were in Colorado, she had all kind of stuff going on. She was a hygienist, but you only worked, 3 days a week?
2, because we were only open 4 days a week, and I split the week with another
girl. So she only worked 2 days a week. So at the time, she had hobbies. I mean, we had our dogs, but we didn't have a kid. So she was baking cakes and what else did you do? Made canvases and wreaths and all this stuff.
Anything and everything to try to figure out what I wanted to do in life.
Yeah, so whenever she started Scentsy, it was just another thing. It wasn't, I didn't really think much about it at first, but, as she started, her paycheck started to go up, and, money's a motivator to most people. I wouldn't say everybody, but to most people. But her paycheck started going up, and started coming in $500 a month. The first ones, a couple hundred or whatever. It's not that really noticeable. She would spend that on her own stuff too. But once she started actually producing income, it kind of opened up my eyes. But I mean, I've been behind it the whole time. But that's when I really realized what it could be, I guess you could say.
And your first incentive trip. So we went on our first incentive trip before we went to our first reunion, because our first incentive trip was Disney World, which was the best ever, in 2016. So that was both of our, I went to a world tour before that, but he didn't go. My mom went with me. And then our first big Scentsy event, though, was the incentive trip. And I think that's where you
learned what it really was.
Yeah, and both of us, because that was the first time we'd really been around all the Scentsy people and experienced the incentive trip. If y'all haven't been on an incentive trip, you have to earn this next one, because they're so good. It's not just a normal vacation. They go all out and make it so special. Plus, it's all expenses paid, so you can't not go. But so what did you tell them about, the incentive trips? Tell them about the incentive trips. Because I know they hear us all the time saying you need to earn incentive trips and you should go, but the spouses love them too, because
the incentive trips are basically just a vacation. That's really all they are. There's no trainings and stuff like that on incentive trips. They do have dinners and stuff like that, and it's top notch. There's our room at Disney. You know how all the rooms always have the little placard thing on the back of the bathroom door saying how much they are. Our resort at Disney World was almost $1,000 a night. So,
you get to do extravagant things that you wouldn't otherwise get to do.
Yeah, they don't go short on anything, that's for sure.
And they give you room drops every night, so you get all kinds of free stuff. And then Our trip that we missed last year, which I still, it makes me cringe thinking about the fact that I missed it. But it's because Carson was about to be born, and it was in South Africa, so that was not an option. But I earned the top 100 South Africa trip, and the people that went on it, I mean, it was insane. They got to stay in these like private bungalows. Is that what they're called? Like these private bungalow things that were like $1,000 a night. And then they went to
Heidi and Orville had a bat in their room.
They did. They had a bat trapped in their room. They were on Facebook Live showing it. It was hilarious. But anyway, they were literally on a, what's it called, a wildlife reservation. But anyway, I mean, literally, you looked out your window and there's like zebras and elephants and giraffes right there, and like monkeys. Like you had to keep your doors locked, or monkeys would get in your room. It was crazy. So they take us on these crazy incentive trips, and now they do 2 a year. So from January to August, January, February, March, April, May. No, that's totally wrong. August through January, we're working toward one, and then. What is it, February through? That doesn't sound right. Anyway, 6 months out of the year, you're working toward one. The other 6 months, you're working toward other. Okay, let's look at more questions. Oh yeah, Kelsey, I forgot you bought one of my wreaths back in the day. Is that thing still hanging in there? It's been like 5 years ago. Okay, how would you suggest a spouse help their significant other work the Scentsy business? So he doesn't help me with actually doing anything business-wise. Like I do everything, but he does he does talk about it to people, and he kind of has a recruiting mindset like I do, because he's always looking. If somebody says something that he just automatically thinks, they could benefit from what she does, he'll tell them about it. And
biggest thing is just be supportive. I mean, it's a rocky road at first, really. I mean, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's very hard to come to Scentsy and, if you need the income, let's say you're working a job and you make $500 a week, or something like that. It's hard to come to Scentsy and start out right away and be able to quit your job and make the same income. So, but it can be achieved pretty quickly. I mean, she did it pretty quick, but I mean, just for people out there, you'll probably have to say one of your disclosures, I don't know, but I mean, there's some consultants that make $10,000 a month, plus. It's just really, whatever, like she said earlier, whatever you want to make of it. So just be supportive, because it's not something that you're only going to make $200 a month with, or whatever, that you make on average when you start out.
And I would imagine that it would be really hard to keep going. And I mean, if you start out making a lower amount of money and you're trying to get to this big goal, I would imagine it would be hard to just keep pushing when you don't have support from. I know that a lot of like his family wasn't supportive at first, because they didn't know anything about direct sales. Just like me, when I first joined, I didn't know you could make any money with it until
we moved back when I got out of the Army, and I was
that's why I quit my job.
I was sleeping like 3 hours a night, and was on the road nonstop, and we were struggling financially because we had so much going on, and so she wasn't making just a lot of money at that time, and that's why people kind of looked at it like, she has a degree, why don't she just go get a job and she can help out? But what they didn't realize was the flexibility of it meant more to us, because she was able to go with me and me stay out there, so the money that I was making from not having to take time off to come home to spend time with her, it was making up for with her being able to be with me. So,
and I knew that I could get to a point where I would make more than I was as a hygienist. It was just going to take a little bit of time, and they didn't know that. They didn't know that the more you worked, it was going to keep increasing, because it's not like a normal job. And I don't know. I just knew I could make it happen, so I did it. I believed that I could do it, and I did it, and that's what all of you have to do. It's definitely a journey. It's not something that's going to happen quick, and especially like a good, stable, residual income is not going to happen overnight. That's just not how this business works. But all of the hard work you put in and everything is just so worth it once you get to that point. And you can have big goals, but you have to have small goals to lead up to that so that you don't get discouraged.
Yeah, don't give up, because it can bring you home and let you work from home, and it can retire the spouse. I mean, it really can. And something on that I was worried about,
I already know what you're going to say.
I was worried about her getting up, when she started actually making full-time income, and then she started progressing more and more, and I was worried about her getting up to, making $10,000 a month or whatever, and then Scentsy selling out.
Hashtag income disclosure statement.
Anyways, I was just worried about her getting, start making a very comfortable income, and then Scentsy selling out or whatever, and us having a mortgage payment or car payments or whatever, that we were relying on that money. But they did say, they made a promise. When was it? I don't remember.
How was that leadership in New York City?
But they said that they promised they would never sell out and never, leave their consultants out to dry. They said that they've had multi-million-dollar offers to buy out, but they would never do that because, they don't know how you would be treated after they sold out or whatever, and they made the promise they would never do that. So there is security in it.
They seriously love us like their own family. Like, we're up there with their kids. They've told us that before. They're the nicest people, the most generous people. I know that they've inspired me to be so much more generous and just such a better person.
Is your phone gonna die or what?
I haven't got to 10% yet. If it does, I'll plug it up. Oh. Hannah, I just almost brought you on camera. Oops. Okay. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of questions. So, aside from posting on social media, how else do you get the word out? So, this was more so when I was like newer and like really trying to get my network built up. We would literally hand out samples in the drive-thrus when we would go to I remember one time in Colorado, we were at like Taco Bell or something, and he was driving. He's like, "Here, this is for you," and the girl was like, looked so scared, like, "What is that?" But we would just give out samples like everywhere, and I would leave business cards and samples or a scent circle or something on the ticket when we would leave a restaurant, or
leave catalogs in the bathroom from time to time.
I would do that, leave catalogs in the bathrooms. Oh my gosh, you're taking me back to my hustling days when I was like really trying to get new customers. What else did I do? I always talk to people if we're out somewhere and we have remember the girl at Cracker Barrel that was pregnant, and we were talking to her and she just seemed like she would really benefit from this business. I talked to her about it. I got her Facebook and added her on Facebook. I got her info, and
with that being said, really, in my opinion, really target the people, well, I don't know if that's a good word, but people that are pregnant, women that are pregnant and, in their earlier days of their pregnancy.
Yeah.
I feel like most all of them, no matter, unless they already have a job that they work from home, no matter what their job is, they can really benefit from it because, throughout their pregnancy, that's 9 months to get established, to get somewhat established. And then
almost was a director by then.
Yeah, so once they have their kid, they've got some extra income coming in to help out, because we all know you can't just go right back to work. So, I would always try to help out anybody like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a recruiting mindset. Like I said, you have to always be on the lookout for people that can benefit from this business, and almost anybody can. It's just it's your job to figure out how they can, because not everybody's going to want the same things you do for your business. Not everybody's going to have the same needs. It's all about keeping others' needs in mind and having that mindset of how can I help other people. But as far as getting your name out, like, to new customers, the things I said, literally have Scentsy stuff on you at all times. Wear your Scentsy shirts or your hats, or carry your bag. Put a decal on your car. I get new customers all the time here from my decal. Literally, a lady stopped us in the middle of our road in my neighborhood the other day because she saw my decal. I was dropping off an order to another customer, and that lady was outside, and she saw my decal, and she literally ran out in the road and stopped us. And I was like, what was this lady doing? She's like, I need room spray. And I was like, okay, let me go home and I'll hook you up. But
smell good, people always.
Yes,
When
wash
I
your
open-
clothes in Scentsy laundry, and use your Scentsy Go in your car, and have car bars in your car, like anything, buddy clips on your diaper bags like we do. I got stopped in Hobby Lobby one day because Carson had his sidekick with him, and I had a buddy clip on the bag, and she like smelled our trail of Scentsy walking through Hobby Lobby, and she stopped us and wanted a catalog. So
I just opened my door at the truck the other day, and this guy, he was like, it's so clean in there and smells good.
yeah.
He was like, what is that? And I told him.
So like, I feel like we have the best product possible to sell, because there's so many ways that you can sell it. I mean, people smell something and they're like, ooh, what is that? I mean, if you're standing in line at Walmart or something, pull out your hand cream and put it on, and you never know, somebody might be like, ooh, what is that? I mean, I've got stuff like that all the time. One day we went to the hair salon for him to get his hair cut, and I wash our clothes in Scentsy laundry, of course, and the lady was like, why do you smell so good? And one day we were at Panda, and this guy was like, oh my gosh, like smelling us across the counter. Y'all smell so good. So use all the products. Make sure you always have things that smell good. Brand yourself. Hand out catalogs and samples to everybody you possibly can. Don't be awkward about it, but like, give it to people as a thank you. If you have a good waitress, or if you go to the bank and you give it to your bank teller, or anybody you possibly can, and try to strike up conversations with random people in lines at stores instead of just standing there being on your phone.
And you always got to remember that one person knows a lot of people
Yeah.
that you don't know. So like, one customer, he was a guy in the military with me, and I don't even remember when it was,
Who are you
way back
talking about?
when. You'll know who I'm talking about, but
Okay.
he was like, one morning, we always went into PT like extremely early. I don't even remember, 5 o'clock, maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock. And he told me, this was after you started using washer whiffs. And he was
The
like,
thing that made me join Scentsy, that's perfectly pomegranate washer.
that's what it was. And he said, hey man, I don't mean this in a weird way. He said, but what do you wash your clothes in? He said, because you always smell so good and clean in the morning times.
Oh, man, it's
And
funny.
so-
I know a lot of people that are married to cops too, that say that their
Because our
uniform stinks
PTs,
so
yes,
bad,
our
and they're-
PTs were literally like, they had sweat activated odor. I can sweat in normal Under Armour
I'm
clothes.
sure a lot of people on here know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can sweat, like in this shirt and these shorts I got on, I can sweat and I don't really stink. But in PTs, like, you just think about sweating
Those
and you
shirts
start
have
stinking.
a weird smell anyway. Okay, so Hannah said there are vacations on Scentsy steroids, and one you'll never want to miss again. So yeah, she's talking about incentive trips. So reunion though is more of a business oriented / motivational / awards. Like, if you get any awards throughout the year, or if you earn Sensational Start level 3, if any of you are new, earn that, you get to walk the stage. Or if you're a newly promoted director or star director or superstar director, if you earn annual mentor award or the annual sales award.
They're just as good as incentive trips, really. I mean, you just have to go to the events, but there's still time. And I feel like this last one, they planned it very well, left you time to do stuff.
Yeah.
You weren't rushing to eat lunch and stuff like that. But
We
you know,
had time to explore the area.
Yeah, we went to the beach and went out to eat and all that stuff every day. So it's still, you get to go to new areas.
And they always send you on one fun thing too at reunion. Like last year it was in Kansas City. They did a Royals game. The year before that we went to the Grand Ole Opry. And then this year they sent us to freaking Disneyland and California Adventure an hour before the park even opened. We got to go in as VIP. So they do fun stuff too, but it's a really good recharge that you really need at the perfect time of year, because it's like you go through spring and the brand new catalog, everything's like super popping, and then
that's
you
the
get to
reveal of all the new products too.
And then you get to June and July and it seems to slow down a little bit, and then you just really need that recharge to get you ready for this new catalog. You get to see all the new products, you get to sniff all the new scents, you get to get all kinds of giveaways. They gave us a whole big thing of a full tester set. They gave us catalogs. They gave us a Mickey Mouse buddy. They gave us
Each.
Yeah, and your guest gets that too. So I got 2 of everything. We got a special brick that they made just for us. I mean, it was just so much. Victoria says she feels like we're them. Hey Jessica, hey Debbie. Okay, so Shayla asked, did you put a lot of money into Scentsy when you first started, or waited till later on to start buying products like shirts, pins, stuff from the Scentsy store? I don't even remember how I ran my business before I had like a set business budget. Did I just
I think you used all your Scentsy money at first because you were still working. You just put it back into it.
I mean, because you do have to put money into your business to be able to make money. I mean, you have to get your catalogs, you have to get your testers, you have to, but you can do it so cheap. That's the thing. If you're a new consultant, you literally get everything you need in your starter kit until the next season. Then you just buy your transition stuff, but you don't have to buy anything fancy. Like to make samples, you can buy 100 little bags for $1, and you can get super cheap molds, and like there's not many things you need to invest money in. You have your website fee every month. But like now I have a set business budget every month that I go by. I have usually a pretty set amount what I spend on each category of things. Like it's totally different now than it used to be, but no, I don't feel like I put a lot of money into it. Like now I buy so many things that are like extra that I used to not spend money on because it just wasn't in my budget. So it's definitely not, don't feel like it's necessary to go spend a bunch of money on like fancy sample stuff or fancy thank you cards or any of that stuff, because that's not what matters. You can build your business
or a lot of
very
stock.
affordable.
She's hardly ever had very much stock. I mean,
and if you have stock, use your host rewards for it. Like when you have people order, combine it all into a party for yourself and use your host rewards for that stuff. You don't ever want to pay full price for things. I mean, even if you order from yourself, you get commission back on it, but still the best way is to do host rewards. I get everything with host rewards.
It's the cheapest business that I know of that you can start and actually start producing, you know, I don't know what amount of income I'm trying to say, but start actually seeing an income from it without investing in time. Because I mean, any other business that I know of is not like that.
Your expenses are painful with your business. Yeah. Like his startup cost was insane. Mine was $99, and I didn't have the money when I started. I totally put it on a credit card. But the thing is, I didn't earn Shooting Star, but I almost did. So I sold that $500 in my first 15 days, and there was my $100 made right back. So from there on out, it was just making money. But no, for a while, I didn't have any shirts. Now I have a ridiculous amount.
She orders a shirt every week.
But I'm always branded when I go places. Like I'm almost always wearing a Scentsy shirt. And of course I have my decal on my car. But remember, all of that is tax deductible as well. So anything you buy to advertise your business is a write-off. It's in our room. Looked up. What time is it? What time is it? Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up. Does anybody else have questions? Hey, everybody that is just hopping on. I think pretty much talked about everything that I had wrote down. Let's see if anybody else has questions. Y'all ask while you can, because I've been asking him for like 4 years to do this, and he's usually like, no, I don't want to do that. And then like, what, a week ago, I texted him and I said, would you be willing to go on our future director group and talk to my girls with me? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, what? So I took advantage. You need to make time for Scentsy. So what do you do, Victoria? The thing with Scentsy is you can work it into any lifestyle. It's just a matter of being disciplined, being smart with your time, only doing the things that produce income. So parties, hosts conversations, or like booking conversations, so booking parties, join conversations, follow up, and constantly figuring out ways to add new people to your contact list. Like if you're doing those things, that's all you need to do. You don't need to be, I mean, of course you need to, samples are great because they're going to bring you new customers. But like all the extra things like making fancy flyers and just all the things that are totally not necessary. And you can do a lot of things to save time as well. Like me, I don't handwrite my thank you cards anymore. I wish I had time to do that, but I don't. What I do is I print off thank you cards on Vistaprint, and I leave a little blank space at the bottom, and I just write my signature on it, so it's got a little bit of handwritten on it. Anything you can do to save time. Victoria, I actually, hang on. I actually have a video on my team page that I did not too long ago, and I literally went through exactly how I work my business, like how many hours a week I work my business, which is like not many at all, and all that. So I want to say, I don't know if I put that on YouTube or not. I'll check and see if I put it on YouTube. If I didn't, I'll get you tagged where you can watch it. But I literally just work my business when I can. I mean, because I used to would work it like all day long, and I don't even know how. Now that I look back, I'm like, what did I do to work my business all day? Like, I apparently did a lot of unnecessary things, because I'm making the same money now as I was then, and I work it like never. So, I mean, not never, but hardly ever compared to what I used to, because, I mean, my full-time job is being a mom and taking care of the house and all that fun stuff. So, usually during nap time, actually, let's see, so during nap times, I shower and I work out. Well, I work out and then I shower. And the other nap time is usually when I work my business. I mean, I literally work my business actually doing income-producing things like 1 or 2 hours a day, maybe, if that. So if you're working it right, you're doing the right things, it can definitely be done in a very small amount of time. I know people who have built their business being a full-time nurse and worked their business like 30 minutes a day and got to superstar director and were able to retire from their nursing job at, how old's Chloe? I think she retired from her nursing job at like 27. So it can definitely be worked into any lifestyle. It depends on how bad you want it, honestly. Do you suggest me handing out samples to everyone? Yeah, I don't see why not. Hand those samples out, girl. You could even give them drawing slips, and
Be sure to give them contact though. You don't want to give them a sample without knowing how to get in contact with you.
yeah, that's what I was about to say though. The drawing slips have contact info. So you could even give them drawing slips and have them fill out all their contact info, tell them you're going to do a drawing for something, and then you got all their contact info, and then you can follow up with them and be like, hey, how'd you like that sample? You won a free room spray, or you didn't win. Would you like me to send you a catalog? You want to look at my website? Anything, whatever. So, what scent? Okay, sea salt and avocado. For sure. Do sea salt in it. He likes that. You like it.
It's okay.
It's fruity, sort of. It's fruity. Do sea salt and avocado. I don't think I've ever gave that scent to anybody who didn't love it. I haven't. I know I haven't. Everybody loves it. So do sea salt and avocado. So Victoria, I would say, okay, so Victoria takes care of kids and home. She works for a radio station. She does pearls. Oh, I forget what it's called, the pearl company. And Scentsy. So I think you need to figure out what you're most passionate about, and you need to figure out where you want to go. Like, why are you doing these businesses? Where do you want them to take you? Like, do you want to be able to quit that radio station job? Do you want to build a team? Like, do you want to be able to be just a work-at-home mom? First, you need to figure that out, figure out why you're even doing this, and then I think you should probably pick which company you're most passionate about, which one you really want to excel in and like go to the top in, and you need to focus 100% on that. That's what I think. What do you think? Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, really, if you have no purpose behind why you're doing this, it's like, what are you doing? So you really have to have that clear why, like written down, know exactly why you're doing this, know exactly what your goals are, know what your long-term goals are and what your short-term goals are to get there, and then make a plan to reach those goals. And yeah, I don't get much interaction on my group page. And I'm constantly posting. What am I not doing right? So, honestly, Debbie, I have hundreds of people in my VIP group, and I don't get a lot of interaction either. I honestly get more interaction on my homepage. On my personal Facebook page, no idea why. I don't know if Facebook is not showing some of my posts in my groups. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the way Facebook does that stuff sometimes. But just try to make it as fun as possible. Do things that are not Scentsy related sometimes, like fun games to get people interacting. I know that's when I get the most interaction in my VIP group, is when I post like fun games, or if I go live, there's always a lot more interaction. Make sure you're going live like at least once a week, and you could even have a set day that you do it so that they know when to expect it. And it's also fun to like do themed days. So you could do like Tip Tuesday, you could do, and you could post like the cotton ball trick, or you could post how to clean wax out of your carpet, or how to clean it off the wall with a hairdryer. Just fun little tips for people. Wednesday, you could do Wax Wednesday, so you post a picture of a warmer in your house, and you just say, what wax are you warming today? Tell us what your house smells like. Just fun things like that. I've heard people do Thrifty Thursday, where they post like different ways to save. So you could post like different bundle and saves. Just do your best to make it fun, and do as much. Always, when you post something, always end it with like a question or a call to action is what it's called. Tell them to do something. So you can tell them to let me know in the comments what your like if you post a picture of you using Counter Clean, post a picture and be like, what's your favorite Counter Clean scent? Or, just ask a question or give them something to do, and usually that will get some interaction going. But for me, games always get interaction. Been handing out wax samples in scent circles, started a business page. That is great that you started a business page. Business pages are so important. So Brandy, make sure, so if y'all are giving out wax samples, anything you're giving out to people for free, you have to get their contact info somehow. If you're just handing out samples like they're candy or whatever, is that the saying? If you're just handing them out to everybody and not having a way to get back in touch with those people, you're just wasting your time and money. So if you have to carry drawing slips with you and be like, hey, I do a monthly drawing, I'd love to follow up with you and see how you like this sample and get you entered into my drawing. Or if you don't have time to do that, like if you're somewhere where the person is in a hurry or you're in a hurry, you can just quickly add them on Facebook. Normally that's less awkward than saying, can I get your phone number? Because you just met the person. So if you just tell them like, hey, I'd love to get to know you more, do you have Facebook? They'll usually say, I mean, most likely they're not going to say, no, don't add me on Facebook. So that's a good way to stay in touch with people if you don't have time to really strike up a good conversation with them to where they're comfortable with giving you their number, or you don't have time to have them fill out a drawing slip. And another thing is, I heard this tip from Katie Farner. What she does is she, instead of carrying business cards around, because most people just chunk business cards or they lose them, I know I do, she has a picture of her business card in her phone. So when she designs her business card on Vistaprint, she actually saves that picture in her phone and keeps that in her phone, and she just texts it to the people that she meets. And that way they have her contact info there and she has their phone number and they have her phone number. So that's like a genius tip for y'all. Hey Kendra, that's our neighbor. That's a good question, Shayla. I have no idea how many bars fill up a whole one of those wax molds. Does anybody know the answer to that? I want to say like you can get away with like a half a, actually it may be 1 bar. If you fill them up very low, like if you get those molds, do not fill them up all the way because you're going to use way too much wax. You can fill them up like halfway, and I'm pretty sure a bar will fill them all up. I know not any more than that. Does anybody else have questions for us before we get off here? I think we've had y'all on here for a while, yeah, almost an hour. So hope y'all enjoyed this and learned something. I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it? Mm-hmm. Man of many words. Okay, good. I wasn't giving out false information then. That's what I thought. It was like 1 bar. Thank you, Brandy. The best way though, while we're talking about samples, the best way to make samples in these hot months and to save wax is felt samples. So if you get felt shapes I get mine on Etsy from a shop called Pear Creek Cottage. She always makes them specific to the scents of the month, and so that's really cool. But you can also just buy like 50-cent felt sheets at Walmart and cut them into strips, and you literally just melt your wax. I use a chocolate melter pot, and you just melt your wax in there and throw your felt in there and put it on, use tweezers to pull it out and put it on wax paper to dry, and it will harden, and then it's safe for people to put in there warmer. The felt won't like burn or anything, it'll just stay in there. But the good thing about felt samples is they don't melt when it's hot, so you can put them in your purse or leave them in the car, and if they start to melt, the felt will actually reabsorb the wax. And also you can mail them for like a stamp, because you can actually mail multiple felt samples with a stamp because they're so light and they're super thin. And again, they won't melt in the mail. So they use a lot less wax too. So I really love using felt samples during this time of year. You're welcome, Brandy. Well, I'm glad y'all found it helpful.
I want to say one thing real quick. I'm a numbers person, for one. I don't have a degree in accounting or anything like that, so just take this for what it's worth. A lot of people freak out when it comes tax time and stuff, but I don't know, I guess people have a better they feel better about spending money when they don't ever see it. But whenever you work a job and your taxes get taken out, it's become just a normal thing. I mean, they may take out $300 a week, and it's just became a normal thing to you, and you forget about what you actually make versus what you actually bring home. So a business like this, you get your 1099, right? That's what they give you. You get your 1099 and you have to pay taxes on your income. So
because we're not taxed throughout the year.
Yeah, because you're not taxed throughout the year. And generally speaking, like I said, I can't say this. Everybody's situation is different and all that. But generally, at a normal job, you pay way more taxes in.
Victoria has a degree in accounting.
That's good. But yeah, you pay way more taxes in throughout the year than you do at the end of the year. So I do know people that, or heard of people, I guess I should say, that want to like quit Scentsy and stuff because they had to pay taxes in. Like, just prepare yourself for it. However, everybody knows their own financial situation better than others, but don't.
Typically, it's more. Go ahead.
I just feel like people think don't think, but they feel like they're paying taxes in, plus they have to pay at the end of the year. Like, you pay a lot less, in my opinion, generally, because you have all your business deductions.
Yeah, we as business owners get so much benefit because you get to write off so many things. I mean, anything you spend related to your business is a tax write-off, but also when it comes to your home office, whether you rent or you're buying a house, whatever, you get to write off a portion of that. You get to count every bit of mileage that if you're driving to meet a customer or buy office supplies or go to the post office to send a sample, or driving to World Tour or Reunion or anywhere you drive that's related to your business, you get 53 cents a mile or something like that this year. I don't know what it is, but it changes every year. But you get a certain amount of money per mile, and so that in itself is a huge deduction. And if y'all aren't using the QuickBooks Self-Employed app, you need it. It's the biggest lifesaver besides Maven. That's a lifesaver too. But for your business deductions and all that stuff, QuickBooks Self-Employed is like a lifesaver. It tracks all of your mileage for you, so you don't have to be trying to track it yourself. It uses your location to do all that for you. It tracks your profit and loss throughout the year. It tracks all of your deductions. It'll even automatically categorize them for you if you want them to. Like your expenses, they're always the same every month. So if you're always ordering through Vistaprint and that's always going to be a business deduction, you can set that to be automatically categorized. Same with like our website fees, or if you're subscribed to stamps.com or ScentShare or any of that stuff that comes out every single month, you don't even have to mess with it. So yes, you have to keep your receipts in case you're audited, which is a low chance, but you're not having to keep up with everything and having to like add up a bunch of stuff at the end of the year. It's already done for you, so it's really nice. Okay, trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, I'm so glad y'all learned something tonight.
Yeah, you have to make a certain amount, but I don't know what it is and nothing like that.
Make a certain amount of money before you even, yes, it's $600. So $600 in commissions and prizes. So if you get any.
Is that net or is that gross?
It's just.
Or adjusted gross?
Whatever is on our 1099. What is that?
Okay, that'd be gross then.
Okay, yeah, so gross. $600 in commissions and prizes. So that means if you get a product credit for Shooting Star Trainer Award, or you get a Sensational Start product credit, or you earn a trip and you take that trip, anything like that is going to count as income, so not just your commissions. So $600 minimum is when you have to claim it, and that's in a calendar year. And you have to claim it on your taxes if you make more than that.
Yeah, a lot of people get upset about the whole trip thing, but I mean that's a business expense to Scentsy. It is an income to you, and
somebody has to write it off.
Yeah, somebody has to write it off, and they're the ones spending the money. But they do stuff in such bulk that they get major discounts, I'm sure, on rooms and stuff like that. So you know, that's the price that you have to, that they show as income, or we have to show as income.
The value that they show is way less than what you would pay for that
Yeah,
same
if
trip,
you
and
did
then you
it.
only pay
The taxes on
the
it.
taxes on that.
So like, it's not a big deal.
And this is things y'all need to know, because these are all people that are wanting to be directors. So I feel like talking about business side of things is definitely important. Because when you hit director, that's when you really see the income increase. I remember when I hit director, I was like, yes. Plus I had like a 5,000 PRV month that month when I promoted. So my paycheck was like crazy compared to what I was used to. Okay. Any more questions? This was fun. I like doing this. I like having a sidekick. I like to do this by myself. Carson used to be my sidekick. Now he won't stay still for 2 seconds. We have to watch our show. Oh, it's just not coming on. This is the new one. Oh, boo. Alrighty, well, if y'all think of anything else, just leave them in the comments and I will get them answered. I hope that y'all got something out of this, and I'm so excited and proud of all of you for being brave and believing that you can do this and promote to director. It starts with believing in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself and you're not positive minded, it's just not gonna happen. So I'm proud of all of you for knowing that you can do this and going for it. And on August 1st, we're gonna get the points requirements for the next incentive trip. So, oh, and also we were talking about reunion earlier. You can earn reunion through this next incentive. So if for some reason you don't take the incentive trip, you can actually take reunion. So that's like level 1. Like you can either earn reunion or then it goes to the next levels. But anyway, that was just a little side note. But the points requirements come out August 1st. And I will be doing a video on that. I always do when the points requirements comes out. I've earned every incentive trip, and that's because I make a detailed plan. And those of you on here that have also earned incentive trips, you know this. You have to make a detailed plan. You have to follow it. And if something goes wrong, you have to reevaluate that plan each month. If something's not on track, you have to figure out, okay, what do I need to do to make up for that this month? Or am I ahead? You have to reevaluate it every month. But it's so important. You can't earn an incentive trip without making a plan to make it happen. They don't just accidentally happen. But if they put these programs into place, and Orville was talking about this at reunion, they put these programs into place, these point system for us to earn these incentive trips to help us grow our businesses. It's not for us to just earn free vacations, but it's to help us grow. And if you're following those point systems, your business is going to grow because you're just going to be doing the things that you need to be doing to be successful, and then in turn you're going to earn a trip. So, but on August 1st, as long as I don't know why they wouldn't, but as long as they get the points uploaded on August 1st, I'm going to be doing a video on how I do my breakdown for my incentive trip points, and then how I'll kind of go over what you get points for, and all that will be in your workstation, but I like to go over it in detail with y'all. And I always go over like how a certified consultant could make their plan, a lead consultant, because all of you newer consultants have way more opportunities for points than someone like me. I can't get promotion points anymore. I can't get paid at title points a lot of times because it's very hard to be paid at title as a superstar director. So I have to do my incentive trip plan around selling and sponsoring, and that's how I always earn it. And so it's very important to make that plan. So I'm gonna go over that with y'all. I'll probably do that though in my team page, and then I will just share it here maybe, or I may do 2. It depends on if I have time or not. But most likely I'll do it on my team page and then save it and upload it here so that y'all can make your plans as well. If y'all wanna get to director, you have to work toward those incentive trips, because if you're working toward those incentive trips, what's going to happen is you're going to promote and promote and promote, And you're also probably going to earn other things like annual mentor, annual sales, and there's a tracker for those too. But when you're doing these things that you're supposed to be doing to grow your business, to earn these trips, in turn, it's going to make other really good things happen. You're going to see some really good paychecks as well.
And as far as, you know, a lot of companies, I don't research them or anything, but like other direct selling companies, it's actually easier for lower ranks in this company to earn the trips than it is for, you know, the higher ranks, or I guess you should say, because you get so many promotion points, but like her, she can't promote anymore, so she doesn't get those points. So it's actually easier, you know, in the lower ranks, it's easier to promote to the next rank. So you get a lot of points for promoting, right? Mm-hmm. So it's easier to earn them as lower ranks, so don't think, you know, this is your director, Crypto. I didn't know who he was talking to.
No, but there's people of all titles on here.
Oh,
I mean, there's like new consultants on here.
Another thing is too, I don't know, I'm more full of useless knowledge and life lessons at a young age, I guess. But once you get to director and you start dealing with a lot of people and you start recruiting people, you're going to meet very rude and very mean people.
I made a post the other day about that.
You just have to brush them off and move forward. They're just insecure and not as happy as you are. So we have the saying, humans. That's just, you know, people are just like that. So don't let them get you down. Just keep moving forward. The more people you have and the more people you deal with on a daily basis, the more of those rude people you're going to meet. So just forget about them and move forward.
It's so worth it though. All of the good totally outweighs the bad. The bad's few and far between, and all of the good totally outweighs it. I mean, I have so many, all of you are awesome. You're all like family to me. You're like my little babies. I'm always so proud when things are happening for y'all, and it's so rewarding when you get to be a leader and see that and be a part of that and know that the people under you are where they are because of you. And so it's a really good feeling. And then also, all the changes that you can make in your own life, it's just so worth it. But yeah, you're always going to have those kind of people, and just always surround yourself with positive people and like-minded people. Because if I posted something yesterday, I don't even remember what it said now. You can't talk, what did it say? I sent it to you. Look on your phone in the text. You can't talk, oh my gosh, hang on. Stand by, we'll see what it said. It was good though, so good. Like the best thing, one of the best quotes I've ever seen. That's it. It says, you can't talk power moves and life goals with someone who doesn't have the same hunger as you. It will always sound like you're bragging. So always surround yourself with people who are hungry like you and driven like you and have the same goals as you. And that's one reason why it's so good that we're doing accountability partners in here. Because you can have a like-minded person to keep you accountable and work with you and keep you driven. And if you have people in your life that look down on you because you want more for your life, or they can't be happy for you because you're making awesome things happen, you don't need them in your life. How much does your hubby help you, and what does he do? So he doesn't really help me. He doesn't have time. He works a lot. Right now he's driving during the week. He owns a trucking company, but he's working toward being able to work from home. It's just kind of like my business. It's one of those things we've had to be patient and work to get there. We're still working to get there. So he doesn't help me really, but he's very supportive, and that is the big important thing to me, is that he's supportive, and if I did need help with something, he would totally do it.
I'll drive you to deliver orders every time we go somewhere.
He does. He takes me when we go somewhere. We deliver orders. Like I said, he used to hand out samples for me, and he will always scope out people who are in need of this opportunity. If he's talking to somebody and he notices that he feels like they could benefit from this business, he'll tell them about it, and he's just very supportive, and it's awesome. So, but the people that do work this business together, Brandy. If you're interested in that, there's some really good people that you can look up on YouTube. So there's Sean and Wendy Robinson, there's Sean and Christina Osborne, Allison and Brian Dalkey, Dalke, which you're probably on their online steps to success. That's the 3 people that come to mind. If any of you know anybody else, comment. Girl, Scentsy has better incentives than anybody, if you ask me, from what I know. They are awesome. All right, so it's been like an hour. Okay, it's been longer than an hour. So I'm gonna get off here because for the people that are watching the replay, I don't want it to be any longer than this. They may have to like watch it in not sections, but whatever. I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's getting late. Intervals. So anyway, thank y'all for hopping on here with us tonight. We enjoyed it, and if y'all want us to do more things like this in the future, let us know, and we will. So we will talk to y'all later. Love y'all. Good night.